It's time once again for your weekly update from the city of New Hope. Joining us with all the information is the mayor, Kathi Hemken. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. I'm just fine, thanks.
Thanks for being with us. We're going to update you on a number of things happening within the city and different departments. But first, we want to start with an update about the mayor herself. So, Mayor, you have been writing some information, thinking about the future as mayor, and what have you decided?
Well, I've decided I'm not going to run in 2024. So at the end of December of 2024, that'll be 16 years as mayor, and I think it's time.
Hmm.
So I announced early so that if anyone's interested in running, it gives them plenty of time to get ready and do some fundraising if they need to do that. But you know what? I can't do this job without the community right there behind me and wonderful city staff that we have, great city managers, and that council is fabulous. So this all comes together as a team, and I think the team is going to be just fine without me.
Well, we will definitely miss you and your smiling face in the council chambers and here on the updates. It's been a pleasure to work with you, but we still have a long time to be able to chat and
Whole year.
update people of what is going on in the city. Did you think that you would have been in this public service role for 16 years now that you look back?
I never thought I was going to win in the first place.
Right.
And I remember there was a song that came out by ABBA called Take a Chance on Me. And I used to hum that in my head as I was door knocking. I thought, what am I doing here? But as the years have gone by, I've come to just love the job. And this is a get trained on the spot, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And with a good team like we've got, they spent a lot of time training me, helping me, making sure that I didn't get in trouble, didn't say the wrong thing. And they've been just marvelous. So it's been just a joyous, joyous 16 years.
How about the time commitment? Was it ever what you expected? They say the mayor is a part-time job, but something tells me that's not true for Mayor Kathi Hemken.
Well, because I don't have a real job, I mean, another job, I can spend a lot more time doing this, and I do. I don't expect that another mayor that has a job would be able to do that, but I just have that opportunity to be able to volunteer and go to the senior centers and read to the kids and just all those other fun things to do. Not that being mayor isn't fun because it is,
Right.
but there's all that other stuff that happens. And because I didn't have to have another job, I was able to do a lot of that.
Well, again, thank you for all your service. And again, we'll have a long time to chat here, so we
There you
won't
go.
talk about it on a regular basis, but maybe when we get towards October or November, December of this coming year. Speaking of openings at the city, let's talk a little bit about the commission. So a great way that people can jump in and serve the city. And you wanted to mention a few openings that are available right now.
Well, our Citizens Advisory Commission is looking for, I believe, one person, and our Human Rights Commission is looking for three. Now, these are volunteer positions. They meet once a month. Um, it's about 2 hours of time a month, but it's really a nice way to learn about the city. You get the Friday memo, tells you what's going on in the city every week. So if you're interested, you have until January 15th. You can start applying right now until the 15th of January, and then you'll come in for an interview if you're interested. But it's just a nice way to get involved in the city. I was on the planning commission for 11 years. So
Mhm.
I knew the city by the time I actually took this mayor job.
You bet. All right. The website is newhopemn.gov if you want to find more about applying for those commission openings. Now to community development, a lot to update residents here on. And the first is monthly single family conversions to rental, a number you keep track of and pass along to residents. What's the latest in November?
Well, we try to keep track of that. So for one thing, if you go from a single family to a rental, you have to have a rental inspection. We want to make sure that the person renting isn't moving into a house that's falling apart. So we do keep track of that. Well, one family went from a single family rent or single family owner occupied to rental, and two went from rental back to single family owner occupied. So they move back and forth. It runs about even.
Let's talk about new businesses coming to town. There's one you wanted to highlight here. Tell us about Seven Sigma.
Well, Seven Sigma, I had no idea what that was. I looked it up. It looks like it's a plastic fabrication company, and they want to locate in New Hope at 31st in Louisiana. And we're just waiting to see their plans come in, And, we'll approve those plans, and of course, we'll do some inspections when they move in. But anytime a new business comes in, we're excited because it brings more jobs and more people.
Another community development item is working with the street banners. We've been talking about this, of the great partnership, and those are moving along. Where are we with the banners right now?
Oh, they're really pretty. So we looked at them from Hennepin Tech. We made a couple of small changes, mostly colored to just brighten them up a little bit. And so now they're going to order the banners and they'll put them up along 42nd. I kind of asked them if maybe they'd put some up on Bass Lake Road. We'll see. I don't know how much they cost, and we'll just see if they can get a few extras to put up on Bass Lake Road. But I think the banners are just kind of a fun way to look at what's going on. And for the students that design them, this is really fun for them because they can see their work up there on the poles.
More to come as those banners go up. Let's now head to the scattered site housing. A number of projects to talk about this week, probably the most we've had in a while, and a couple are new that the city is looking at. The first is 3825 Jordan Avenue. Tell us more about this property.
So the staff went out to look at that as a possible rehab. So, we'd go in and just hire somebody, of course, and do the rehab rather than tear it down and start over. So the price is a little high right now, but a lot of times the city will make an offer that's lower. And if they are interested in taking the offer, we will. We don't want to pay full price for these because there's a lot of work typically that has to be done, and it's expensive. So we want to make sure we're getting a good buy for our money, and also that the people selling it are getting what they need from the house.
Next property is 4201 Boone. A lot of activity on that corner. How is that first house coming along?
Well, the interior work is just about done. If you drive by, it looks like it's stalled, but what they wanted to do is get that interior done. The garage doors aren't on yet, but I don't imagine it'll go on the market. Well, it is on the market, by the way, but once somebody buys it, then they'll finish a lot of the stuff. It's moving along.
All right, next property, and you see a picture of the property itself here is 4965 Winnetka. We've talked about this quite some time, and again, it looks like now they've got some ground ready to do something on.
Well, if you drive by, there's something on the ground, and what it is hydro seed, and so they put that down, and they put like a mesh over that so they can get that seed in the ground, and it'll come up in the spring. Just because they don't want it to look like just bare dirt that'll wash away. So there'll be two houses, and what'll happen now is the surveyors will come out and they'll divide that lot into two lots, and both of the houses will face 50th. So there'll be new addresses. I believe the addresses will be 71. I'm looking for that.
Looks like 7901.
7901 50th and 7911 50th, because they're facing 50th Avenue. We're trying to keep as much traffic off of Winnetka, the driveways, as we can, and that's why they're going to be facing 50th.
All right, let's hop to another space in town that has a change of address as well, a project we've been talking about for quite some time.
Oh, so this is a little confusing. There was a piece of property right on the corner, or one in from the corner, on Bass Lake Road and Winnetka. So the property was sold, we tore it down, it's an empty lot. And again, we're going to have that property face Boone Place, which is a circle. So to do that, we had to change the addresses. Well, the very first house in is 5802, or I'm sorry, 5700. So this one is going to be less. So the only thing they could do is make it 5692 Boone Place. So it's going to be very confusing because there's 58th and then there's 56th right there. But that's really all they could do. So that property is being closed on before the end of the year.
Let's talk next about the Business Networking Group. Again, community development, keeping in touch with businesses and residents. And they just had a meeting here in December and now planning for January. What's coming up next? January
3rd. This is the afternoon, 2 o'clock. And it's Rockin' Nutrition is going to host it. They'll be hosting it at City Hall. That seems to be a real convenient place for people to get to. These meetings are getting bigger, by the way, and more people are attending them. A lot of business cards are being passed around. Everybody gets a chance to talk about their business a little bit, and the host, whoever that is, will spend a little more time talking about their business. So it's the business networking group seems to be doing really well.
Good. Great opportunity, and it's combined between Crystal and New Hope, as you said, so a lot of opportunities to meet up with businesses there. Let's talk about permit and inspection count under the community development area. How are the latest numbers looking here?
This is a small department, and last month they did 665 inspections, and those are half of them are inspections, about the other half is code enforcement. But these guys are out busy doing this just constantly. When people say, well, you don't enforce your codes, yeah, we do. We just can't get to everything all the time. And 665 is a lot of enforcement each month to do.
Very busy. Let's go to one of the businesses that they've been busy working on permits with, and that is a longtime business, a little hidden in the city of New Hope, but it's going to continue to go on.
Patagus is the name of the business, and it's just south of the YMCA. If you go south past the Y, there's kind of a curvy street. They're right there. That used to be the old Paddock Labs. And so they applied for some permits. So they're doing some remodeling inside, which makes us really excited because that means they're going to stay in the city. They're one of our really bigger employers, and you don't hardly even know they're there.
Final note is for pizza fans, here's another option for you coming to town maybe soon. What is the pizza choice that's coming?
Well, down at Winnetka, what is it? A Midland Shopping Center. A Pizza Hut is going in. So we're just waiting for their plans to come. I don't know exactly where it's going to be in that Midland Shopping Center. It'll be in one of those buildings. So you'll be able to get a pizza if you live the south end of town.
All right, we'll keep you up to date as that moves along. Let's move to the police department. A lot happening here in the area of training and community engagement. Let's start with training and talk about some of the things that not only the chief, but many in the department are doing on a regular basis.
You know, they all have regular police jobs that they're attending to, but I'm really impressed at how well trained our police officers are, and we want to make sure they get to this training. So I'm going to have to read some of this because it's kind of lengthy. So the police chief, an officer, and the Joint Community Police Partnership Liaison is meeting with the Multicultural Advisory Council at Cooper, and they do that on a regular basis. Our administrative specialist is taking some FBI training. Two of our officers delivered Meals on Wheels this last week. The police chief and Officer Callio delivered 180 coats. Thank you so much to our citizens who brought these coats, and 180 people are going to be a lot warmer this winter because of that, so thank you. Also, Officer Callio picked up 500 toys from the Eisenberg Toy Fest that they had last weekend, and a whole bunch of money.
Yes.
So the money goes either to Prism or near food shelves to buy more toys, or Toys for Tots, or to our Blue Santa program that we have, that we invite the kids in and we give them toys. So all the money goes to the kids. The city, takes none of that. It all goes to the kids through prizes and toys and just things for them. So they've been really, really busy. So then our chief attended the Hennepin Chiefs meetings. All of Hennepin County, every city in Hennepin County has a police chief, and those chiefs gather on a regular basis because we all have the same problems, and the cities are so interconnected that it's really important that we all know what the other chiefs are doing. So he attended that, and the chief and a sergeant and a bunch of officers attended the Toys for Tots delivery, and also the Santa parade that happened last week. So our police officers are busy either training or doing community development, and we think that's just as important as policing.
Yeah, a long list there. And one other note to pass along in the police department, they're doing some looking into a story about cats. Give us a little more information.
Oh, this is kind of sad, actually. Somebody in an apartment dumped a bunch of cats out in the cold. They're not feral cats, they're domesticated cats, but they were just kind of wandering around, so we think they were just dumped by somebody. So the police picked them up and they brought them to what we call pups. That's pets under police security. So they're at the pups place now, being taken care of, so they're not on the cold. We're looking for who might be the owner. Did they get out accidentally? Did the owner mean to let them out? So you can call, or you can go online to newhopemn.gov/tip 411
Mm-hmm.
and leave an anonymous tip, or you can just call the police department if you know anything at all about these cats, or they happen to be your cats that got out accidentally. We don't know how the cats got out, but they're in a nice, safe place. We just want to make sure that the owner knows where they are.
Good. Hopefully the community can help out. Let's jump ahead to Public Works. They are busy as the seasons change. What have they been up to above ground and underground lately?
These are my public work angels. So the sanitary sewers, they've been cleaning them and inspecting them, and they've been putting some sort of a degreaser in the lift stations. We want those lift stations to work really well. So they've been doing that, getting ready for the next snowfall. What they do is they go and put a chemical on the street. So if it's just a little snowfall, like it was the other day, that it'll help melt that. If there's more than 2 inches, that's a snow emergency. Get your car off the street, because the snowplow really doesn't want to go around your car and plow it in. So you need to get that in your driveway or get it someplace else until they've plowed curb to curb.
Good advice. All right, let's jump ahead to Park and Rec. Get ready. There's a lot happening in this area. And the first is defensive driving class, kind of a partnership between the Park and Rec and Police Department as well. Tell us about this opportunity for residents.
Before I tell you about that, I have to tell you one kind of sad news. 169 and Bass Lake Road, the entrance going north on 169 where they're putting up that noise wall. Now they're telling me June of 2024.
Okay.
I've been telling people that it would be open this fall, or at least by the end of the year. Now it's June. So I'm not positive that the entrance ramp will be closed, but chances are it will be, because that's right where they're doing the work. So anyway, that's the sad news. Now we can move.
Yes.
Now we can move on to Park and Rec. So the defensive driving, there's an 8-hour class, and you can find that in your Park and Rec book. Used to be called In Motion. It's in there, it's how to sign up. But I know the first class starts on February 7th, but the class fills up quickly. So if you're interested in doing that, you do get a reduction on your car insurance if you take the class. They also have the refresher courses, but you have to take the 8-hour class to take the refresher. So if you've had the 8-hour, again, look in your Park and Rec book. It'll tell you how to sign up for the refresher courses. But
excellent.
Look now, because they fill up quickly.
Right, and here is that book, and we're going to reference this a few times in the next couple of minutes. A lot of information here about some fun things to do over the winter and even into spring. Something that just happened and was noted in this book is a holiday tea. What is a holiday tea, and where was it held?
Well, it was held at Brookview, and it was for residents of Golden Valley, New Hope, and Crystal. And apparently over 90 people showed up to sip tea, eat little finger sandwiches, and nummy desserts. So they tell me they all had a really good time doing that.
Very good. All right. Here's something else you might not know happens. Community tripsters. And again, if you look in this book, you can find some great opportunities here. And I didn't know they traveled this far, but I understand a recent trip to New York City.
Well, there's somebody called Jeannie's Journeys. And a group of 8 people from New Hope went to New York City for 4 nights and 3 days. Or maybe that's the other way around, 3 days, 4 nights. And to New York City. You can sign up for information on when the next trip is, or trips that are coming available, at 763-531-5151. You can also look in the book, but sometimes trips come up that didn't quite make the book.
Okay.
So you might want to sign up for that. Now, the other thing is the winter craft kits and the Valentine craft kits. For those people who have already paid for them, those are being put together now and will be delivered in the next day or two. The other thing is the winter activity kits. You can still rent those. It's $15 for 2 weeks. There's sleds, there's snowshoes, downhill ski stuff. If you don't have all that equipment, you can rent it for a couple weeks just to play. You might want to wait for a little more snow, but they fill up quickly, so you can pick a date and rent it out in the future if you'd like.
Yeah, something perfect for the holidays here, or when the kids might be on that winter break. Let's talk a little bit about the trees in town. Again, you might not think this is the time to pay attention, but certainly city staff spending a lot of time with the trees, the ash trees in particular. What is the latest?
Well, our forester, and you can reach him by calling just the general number to City Hall. So a forester goes out and puts a dot on the trees that need to come down, the emerald ash trees that need to come down. And he needs to put the dot on the trees because he writes down the address of where the tree is. If you put your own dot on the tree, he has no idea that it's there.
Right.
So he doesn't respond. The other thing he does is he'll come out and talk to you about financial resources. If you have to take a tree down that's in your yard, they're expensive. And so we don't want that tree to fall in somebody's house. It has to come down. So he can come out and talk about financial resources, how you could possibly prune the tree a little bit to help with that. Just all kinds of information on emerald ash board, just if you have some concerns, how to treat the tree if you think that's what you want to do. So that's the city forester, and he'll come out and help.
Very good. All right, let's talk for a second about the golf course behind you. We are seeing it in perfect mid-season form behind you, but not quite looking that way these days. And I understand the season is officially over.
When they pull the flags, it's officially over.
Got it.
And so they pulled the flags. There's still a few people that venture out onto the course and play. They just sort of play. They won't let you on the course if there's frost on the greens because we need to protect the greens. But they won't let carts on the course other than pull carts. So I don't know. It's supposed to be nice this week. I don't know if you want to get out and play or not, or even if they encourage you to do that. But the clubhouse has been decorated both on the inside and the out. That easily holds 50 people with sit-down dinners. You can bring in your own food. It's very nice. The rental is quite reasonable. It's a nice place to have a holiday party. This last week, there was a birthday party and 2 holiday parties there. So they're pretty busy between now and Christmas, but if you're thinking of renting it, they need to get on the books pretty quick.
All right, we'll give a little teaser here to one other golf note related to maybe being able to golf one more time in winter because Park and Rec puts on a pretty special event. Tell us about that.
I think it's about the middle of January.
Okay.
Or maybe the latter part. And what they do is, hopefully there's snow, they'll plow the snow and you hit a tennis ball through this path. And of course, when they plow, there's big sides. So the ball bounces between the sides of the path. It's really kind of fun. And then they have a fire pit going where you can make s'mores and be out around the fire pit or be inside if you're cold. So look in your In Motion, the Park and Rec book. It'll tell you a little bit about that. Or you can always call City Hall and get some more information on the date. I'll have a better idea of the date next week.
Yeah, perfect. As we get more, we'll certainly pass that along. One final note in Park and Rec to pass along is if you're looking for that last moment gift to buy for someone, think about Park and Rec, maybe the golf course. How can that be a good option?
Well, we have gift certificates from the Park and Rec department, and they can come in any dollar amount you want. And what a great way to give a kid in his Christmas stocking or her Christmas stocking a gift card or a gift letter from Park and Rec so that they can look in the book and find something they might want to do. And maybe it doesn't pay for the whole class they want to take, but it might pay for part of it. Or it might pay for part of a golf day or an ice skating day. So it's really a kind of a nice thing to do. Speaking of Park and Rec, our ice arena, this just slays me. They have an adult over 50 hockey game, I guess, on Fridays. And it used to be that I thought it was Wednesdays and Fridays, but they're just going to do it on Fridays, 11:30 to 1.
Okay.
$5. You come in, you skate for an hour and a half. If you're playing hockey, you have to bring your own gear. The goalie gets to come in free, but bring gear.
Right.
Apparently, they've had some people come in, and they're pretty happy doing that. Now, we also have an adult hockey league that plays their games on Saturdays and Sundays. And of course, the youth hockey is always there practicing, and they're playing whenever it is they're playing. And then the 15th of this month is a skate with Santa, and it's $5. You come in and you just skate around with Santa all. Maybe you can tell them how nice you've been between last year and this year.
Sounds
so
like
skate
great
with Santa on the 15th of December.
All right, Ice Arena, very busy at this time of the year. Final couple notes we want to pass along today from Human Resources. We told you last time that it was top secret, even from the mayor, of who was going to be the employee of the year. But now, Mayor, we're going to let it know to the world. Who is that person?
You know, if I could give an employee of the year to every single employee, we would, because they're all just special. But this year went to Andrea Finney, and she is our city's accounting technician. did just a phenomenal job when we lost one of our accounting people that did the billing. And so she kind of stepped in and took over that till they hired somebody new. So she got the Employee of the Year. The other thing that happened is at that same recognition thing, we gave a recognition to somebody for 35 years with the city and 2 for 25 years. I think that speaks so well for the city. People come here and they just never, I'm here for 16 years. They just never leave.
That's fantastic. Congratulations to those long-term employees, and thank you. Final note, opportunity to be a new employee in the city of New Hope, the police clerk vacancy. Where are we in that process?
So whenever we need an employee, what we do is we post it internally first. We have to get 2 qualified candidates and that internal posting before we go outside. We did not get the 2 qualified candidates, so now it's gone out to the outside. And what we'll be doing is looking for a police clerk. I don't know if it's the days or nights, but they have until, it starts now, and I think they have a couple of weeks to apply for that. You can do that at 531-5115, or you can go online to apply.
All right, and that online, you see it at the bottom of the screen, newhopemn.gov. A lot of information there about all the departments in the city. And again, we encourage you to go to the brochure for Parks and Recreation. A lot of great events coming up here, opportunities to stay involved throughout the winter and spring. Mayor Hemken, thanks once again for your time. Enjoy the week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Dave. Maybe we'll get 2 feet of snow by then.
All right, we'll see what happens, and stay with us. Here's a look at some other things happening right here in the New Hope community.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you. Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.